If this demo is any indication of the caliber game that Lies of P will be at launch, then Souls fans will be made very happy. What's up, nerds? Welcome to InGame. I'm Hoobs4, and today I am going to break down the Lies of P demo and share my thoughts based on my experience with the game. I will be totally transparent here. I really enjoyed my time with Lies of P, and I was genuinely sad that it was only a tease of what's to come. I'm ready, I hope you're ready, so let's go ahead and enter gaming.
Enter gaming.
The Lies of P demo does a good job of introducing the gameplay and story, as it is, as far as I can tell, the first couple hours of the main game. As far as Souls-likes go, this feels like it has the potential to be one of the better ones not made by FromSoft. However, Lies of P wears its inspirations on its sleeves. On first glance, it may seem like a Bloodborne clone, and it doesn't hide the influence that Bloodborne had on development. But over the opening hours of the game, Lies of P also shows that it has its own ideas to bring to the table. Lies of P is a new take on the classic Pinocchio story, and the demo introduces this concept well. The demo opens with a tutorial area showing you the basics, before opening up to its first real level where you see how the puppets have entered a frenzy and destroyed everything. The town of Krat is destroyed, with puppets now running the town. Carnage is all over the floors. You walk the dark paths and take out the puppets that stand in your way. In the demo, several enemy levels and varieties are shown off. There seems to be basic enemies, stronger enemies, and then bosses. There is good variety shown off even in these opening hours, and I felt challenged but not overwhelmed. The Souls-like nature of Lies of P did lead to a few difficult moments and a couple of stellar boss fights. The enemies respawn upon resting, and you have a limited pool of health potions. Along the way, there are plenty of items spread around the level, and enemy drops can be counted on as well. The standard gameplay cycle of Souls-likes was applied throughout the demo. Defeat enemies, turn in Ergo to level up, respawn enemies, unlock shortcut, and defeat bosses. Lies of P also echoes Bloodborne's level design. I felt plenty of similarities between the streets of Central Yharnam and its shortcuts and the city streets of Krat. So these are the basics. If you want more knowledge about the game in general, then check out my video on 15 things you need to know in Lies of P, and that'll be out in just a couple days. But now, I want to dig into some more details alongside my thoughts. First of all, I want to say that I'm coming at this as a decently experienced Souls player. Elden Ring was my first, but since then I've gone back and played the others in order, and I'm up to having finished Bloodborne with only Dark Souls 3 and Sekiro in my backlog. Elden Ring sent me on a journey through these types of games, and I jump on another Souls-like any chance I get. I find the gameplay loop in Souls games to be one of the most fun and addicting in gaming. So with my experience in mind, how do I think Lies of P stacks up so far? Pretty dang well in my opinion. My biggest criticism is probably just how safe it plays it. It does introduce plenty of good ideas, but it feels like they could do more. Now this is only the demo, and so the full game may change my mind on that, but at the moment, I feel like it's too safe. Before I continue, I just have a quick request. If you would please consider subscribing to the channel. Most of my viewers are not subscribed, and it would help me out a lot. I don't really see Lies of P as a Bloodborne clone either, but rather that Bloodborne was a direct influence. I mean, sure, it has the same gameplay, a central hub for NPCs, a lady for upgrades like a doll, a similar aesthetic in the opening levels, big beast bosses and humanoid bosses, levels designed with shortcuts. And so yeah, it has a lot of similarities in the game structure. However, looking at the bigger picture, plenty of these are characteristics of plenty of the games in the Souls genre, so it's not really tied down to one in particular. So I want it to be known that Lies of P does do its own thing too. The Legion arm makes an awesome offhand weapon. It can be used for damage, utility, and probably a number of other things in the main game that I just can't wait to see. It has the potential to be super unique and core to the experience, so I hope the full game can capitalize on this with tons of unique attachments that completely alter your build. The atmosphere deserves a mention as well. Yes, like I said, it is reminiscent of Central Yarnum, but with this wonderful fantasy twist. I love the atmosphere, and exploring every inch of Krat felt rewarding. Whether I got a new tidbit of lore, or found a useful item, it was a pleasure to explore. I genuinely can't wait to see where else the journey of P takes me. One of the most interesting concepts is the lying system, which is obviously critical to Pinocchio's lore. There are 4 rules that are said to govern the puppets, one of which is that puppets cannot lie. The fact that Pinocchio can lie shows that he is a special puppet, hence why he isn't in a frenzy like the rest. Your lying can change your relationship with NPCs, and I could see this potentially even leading to multiple endings. I am really interested to see how much and how important this system ends up being. It could be a really refreshing change to how you deal with NPCs compared to the typical Souls formula. Another point of note is the awesome weapon system, degradation aside. The 2-part weapon system, wherein the weapon you wield can be a combination of any blade and grip, seems to be a great touch. The demo only has a couple of weapons for combining parts outside of the starter weapons, so I really hope they introduce a lot of unique weapons that you can combine in any way you need. I think this plays heavily into the replayability aspect of Lies of P. Even after the demo, I was wanting to try another build and try combining my weapons differently to see how it feels. I was curious to know how dexterity felt in the game compared to my strength build, and so on. I think there is potential for plenty of replayability, which is another Souls-like staple. But, I know, weapon degradation will be a sore spot in this game for many, as they don't want to deal with another resource. It's not like in Zelda, though, where your weapons are breaking all the time, but this is arguably just as annoying. Your weapon degrades quickly, like every attack you see it drop, and then each subsequent attack does less damage. So I found myself mid-boss fight and pulling out my grinder to sharpen my blade just so that I could do some decent damage. I honestly still have mixed feelings over this one, because I completely understand what they are going for, but I feel like it will always be a point of contention unless something in the main game can remedy this. The weapon combos also lead into the Fable system, which are powerful abilities attached to blades and hilts of weapons. The Fable bars fill up with attacks, and the Fable abilities can be game changers in combat. I hope to see a plethora of options with these that can really change the tide in battle. Think of these like runic attacks that can be attached to Kratos' weapon in God of War, giving him new abilities. As far as the controls go, they took a little getting used to, but I picked it up quick enough. The combat is smooth and the weapons feel good, especially the fatal attacks make you feel really powerful. In addition to the controls, the menus were clean and easy to read. If you want more detail, you can definitely find it and learn even more about the world and every item in your inventory. As far as the story goes, it is compelling enough and is set up where it can go in any direction it wants. I like how it is twisting the children's tale into a dark version. The narrative they have created fits the fairy tale well, while also allowing for creativity in what they can do with the rest of the story later on. In addition to specific characters in Krat, we've also met Pinocchio, Gemini, and Mr. Geppetto, the puppet's creator. I am really genuinely interested to see how the rest of the story will play out based on the little bits we get in the prologue. I do love that Lies of P sticks with generic storytelling, with most of the story told through collectibles, the environment, and NPCs. I absolutely love this method of storytelling that has become known in the Souls genre. One quality of life improvement to the system is that you can actually accept NPC quests, instead of the quest simply being implied. You are still mostly left to your own devices, but it gives a little more direction that may help the learning curve be a touch less steep. I mean, when I first started Souls-likes, I had no idea that NPCs were so critical and that they were actually giving me side quests without me even knowing. So this is a little thing that can go a long way. There are another couple of quality of life improvements on the typical Souls formula that show a lot of attention to detail, and that really makes me excited. The Ergo you collect shows in the right hand corner like usual, but there are a couple of awesome changes. First, the color changes from white to a blue-green when you have enough Ergo to afford a level up. This is great as it lets you see if you have enough without going back to the maiden to check. Secondly, when you die and have Ergo to retrieve, it shows you how much Ergo you currently have, and underneath it shows how much you have left to retrieve. Lastly, the Ergo you lose during a boss fight can be recovered outside the arena, which is a huge change that I adore and will keep you from losing a lot of Ergo in unexpected boss fights. Overall, I gotta say, I fell in love with the start of this game. I really hope it can live up to its potential when it releases on September 19th, 2023. Based on the demo, Lies of P seems to be a completely competent Souls-like that brings its own ideas to the table while sticking to the standard gameplay script, if maybe a little bit safe. Thank you guys for watching. If you enjoyed this video, then please leave a like and comment below your thoughts. I really enjoyed this one, and I look forward to the next one. Peace. Thank you for watching, right here on InGame. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe for more content.